This contract is the worst of the offseason. I'll break down this signing and much more coming up in this episode of Hattrick HQ. Hi, I'm your host Casey and welcome back to Hattrick HQ. With that said, let's get right into the topic of this video, which is, this signing is a huge mistake. And if you've been in tune with the news recently, you would have seen that the Washington Capitals and forward Tom Wilson agreed to a 7-year, $45.5 million contract extension. That's right, a 7-year, $45.5 million contract extension. Here's what you need to know. Wilson was entering the final season of his contract. The contract keeps Wilson with the Washington Capitals through the 2030-31 season. Wilson's contract carries an average annual value of $6.5 million. That's right, $6.5 million AAV. The 29-year-old recorded 13 goals and 9 assists in 2022-2023. All right, before we break down this trade, we'll take a look at Tom Wilson's Hockey DB page, his career stats in Washington. A guy who spent his whole career in the Washington Capitals organization. Like we see in the article, 22 points through 33 games last season, And the year before that, he had 52 points in 78 games, which is his highest recorded points over his whole career. But the big thing to look at here is he has 1,299 penalty minutes. And this contract is a huge deal. I think this contract is just horrible. If you want my honest opinion, it is horrible. This contract reminds me of the Milan Lucic Edmonton Oilers contract. If some of you guys remember that, I think Lucic was 7 years, $6 million. I think this is the exact same. I think we won't look at it to be horrible until maybe 1 or 2 years time. Maybe once he gets up there in his 30s. He's coming off a knee injury, which is a hard injury to come back, especially as an aging player. But it just seems to me that the Washington Capitals just paid him for his toughness and his leadership. They speak a lot on his leadership within the organization. But like I said, this just screams Milan Lucic to me. They're paying the guy for his toughness. Obviously, a guy's career high is 52 points just last season, or the season before, sorry. But I don't know. It's hard to say how I feel about this contract because that Milan Lucic one just comes right back to my head. But I don't know. Tom Wilson, he is a good player. He's a player you don't want to be on the opposite end of. Obviously, this guy has 30 career NHL suspensions for boarding, hits to the head, etc. And like I said, 1,299 penalty minutes is a lot. That is a lot for a guy that you're paying $6.5 million for. When we just seen yesterday, if you've seen yesterday's video, or this morning's video, that Troy Terry is getting $7 million over 7 years, and Tom Wilson is getting $6.5, only $500,000 less than Troy Terry, a 24-year-old star for the Anaheim Ducks. That is insanity to me. I think they're just paying him to be Ovi's right-hand man until Ovi's gone. I don't think Ovi wanted him gone. I'm a huge Ovechkin fan, but I don't know. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this Tom Wilson contract because when I seen this morning, I had to do a double take. I just thought, wow, they're really paying a Milan Lucic, John Scott type of player $6.5 million. And I know a lot of you guys might say, hey, the cap is going up in a couple of years. Maybe this won't look so bad. But I think it will. Honestly, I think it will. I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, he proves us wrong because we never want to see a player do bad in the NHL, even if it's on your rival team. But I'd like to hear what your guys' comments are in the comment section below. But there was a lot of Washington Capitals fans saying that he might be Alexander Ovechkin's successor as captain once he leaves Washington. In this article from The Athletic, it reads, Ovechkin has served as captain in Washington since 2010 and is under contract for 3 more seasons. But Wilson's extension begs the question, will he succeed Ovechkin as captain after number 8 hangs up the skates? Of course, there's no guarantee that Ovechkin will retire following the 2025-2026 campaign, his age 40 season, but if he does, it will surprise almost no one if Wilson got to see ahead of the 2026-2027 season, Wilson has on occasion served as alternate captain in recent years, says El Bashir of The Athletic. And I think maybe this deal won't look so bad if maybe they do assign him the captain role, but I don't think Ovechkin's going to hang him up anytime soon, especially if he keeps playing at the level he's playing at. He's obviously going for that goal record, and I don't think he's going to hang him up before he hits that goal record, personally. And I think he will get there. I honestly do think Ovechkin will get there, but that's a whole other topic for a whole different time. But I think Tom Wilson is a great leader in the locker room. He obviously goes out there, throws his weight around. He obviously picks up for his young guys, picks up for his stars. I think that's a great guy to have as a captain. Kind of like as we talked about earlier this year with Brad Marchand as captain. He's a guy who goes out there and just picks up for the team. But I see a lot of Brad Marchand in Tom Wilson. Obviously not as much as scoring ability as Brad Marchand, but I'd like to see Tom Wilson as captain. Honestly, I think that would be the great move after the grade 8 hangs up the skates. But we'll take a look at now Tom Wilson's comments after this signing on social media. He said, "Feeling extremely honored today as I get to sign an extension with the city that I have called home for the last 10 years, Wilson said on social media Friday. Being a Cat means so much to me, and I can't wait to continue to compete and leave it all out there with this team. Thanks to the Caps family for the support." As we look at a comment from the general manager, he says, "Tom possesses all the intangibles needed to win in this league, and we are extremely pleased to sign him to a long-term contract, giving him the opportunity to finish his career in a Capitals uniform," Brian McClellan, Capitals Senior Vice President and General Manager, said in a release. Throughout his career, Tom has improved in every facet of his game. Through his drive and competitiveness, we feel his work ethic and leadership qualities will be a tremendous asset to our organization for years to come. And obviously, when your president and GM is speaking this highly of you, it makes sense to why they signed him to such a long-term deal. And like he said, Tom Wilson has very much improved in the league. I think his first season, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he had a point, but I think he had 150 penalty minutes. So when you're a guy who comes in your first year in the league and you don't even record a point and you're just out there to fight, I think having a 52-point season, and obviously he's grinding it out. He's grinded his whole career to get this contract, and I am happy for him, but I do think this is a huge mistake. I think, like I said, in a couple years' time, we're all going to look back on this and we're going to look at his number and we're going to be like, wow, $6.5 million. It's just deja vu with the Milan Lucci's contract, like I said before. But I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on this down in the comment section below, because this is outrageous. But thanks for watching this episode of Hat-Trick HQ. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, comment down below. I've been KC. Keep your stick on the ice.